You're listening to Small Business Talk with Jerry. Sit in on great conversations with entrepreneurs who risk everything chasing the American dream.
Hey everybody, Jerry with Small Business Talk with Jerry. We're now part of SBR Group, Small Business Referral Group. You can check those guys out, which is us guys, at joinsbrgroup.com. Today we're here to introduce Jeremiah Prigge, a good friend of mine. I've known him for, how long's it been? I mean, 20
Feels like
plus.
25 years probably.
Yeah, 25 years probably. I'd say I know 20 plus for sure. Don't play pool with this guy. I'm going to ruin his reputation right now. So, but known him for a long time, and played with him, played against him.
Yep.
Both ways.
Yep.
But he's also a co-founder of SBR Group. So I'm going to introduce Jeremiah Prigge. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, I guess thinking about this, I'm like Joe Walsh, ordinary average guy. Honestly, that's I don't think of myself as anything special. I got a lot of opinions. I love to share them, but honestly, I love to hear everybody else's too. So, very interested in what people do. That's part of why, to me, the SBR Group made a lot of sense, because I think about it back, I don't know how long, but in my other career.
Yep. You've had a few.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, just like myself.
Yeah. And we were just joking, entrepreneur, right? But
right.
I hope I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, in my career that I've been doing for the last 9.5 years, part of the enjoyment of that is talking to people, finding out what they do, and even though I'm not a professional in what they do, sometimes I have ideas, and I might like, would this work, or have you ever tried this? Granted, again, I don't know most of their industries, but at the same time, if I can help, it's fun to think that I contributed to something that they found useful. And so you tie that into what we're doing with SBR Group. Yeah. It really does make sense. I love the fact that maybe I can contribute to somebody's success.
Well, and that's something we've said in the podcast before. Success is amazing, even if it's not yours.
You're
right?
Correct, 100%.
And it's cool to be part of someone else's.
Yeah.
I want to see all my friends. Even the people I don't care for, and they're out there. And there's probably feelings mutual, but I don't want to see them fail.
Right.
It's still, as an entrepreneur, it makes you feel great when you see someone doing it right.
Right. And
at the end of the day, the small businesses, no matter how different the industries are, the problems we run into and the challenges we face, they're not all that different.
Right.
So if you've solved a problem through Globe Life, or you've solved a problem through Family Fun Center, that's definitely something I can take with me back to my auto shop, back to my gun shop, back to the design shop. All those things, we can move that stuff around and evolve it, tweak it a little bit, but we're all relatively smart individuals. That's why we're doing what we're doing,
Yep.
So you're just so you make it work. And it's great to be part of that with someone else and watch your friends grow.
100%. Just success.
Yeah, success. And so what, as far as SBR Group, again, co-founder with Jeremiah here, you were involved with me a little bit way back in COVID, which again, we'll have to watch how we air these in the order so that people know what we talked about versus what we are talking about. But in the ones we've already recorded, we've talked about where I had the idea. I didn't care for the group we were in, the way they handled COVID, which was a little unfair on my part because it was unprecedented. There really wasn't, I don't know if anybody handled it well.
Right.
It wasn't something that could be handled well. But I didn't like it, and I'm typical me. I thought, I could do it better.
Yep.
And you and I chatted about that with a couple other guys.
Right. I remember that. And honestly, when I joined that other networking group, I joined the very first week of COVID after the governor shut everything down.
Yeah.
So
you got the best of the worst.
I paid this nice check to this awesome plan to meet people, build relationships, grow business, and I'm doing it from a computer screen.
And you're doing it on Zoom.
Yeah, in an industry that is an emotional conversation with people. Globe Life, Family Heritage Division, supplemental insurance benefits for cancer, for heart, accidents, things like that. You can't build a relationship through a screen.
No.
That whole first year was real tough, but the thing a lot of people didn't know is there was 6 to 7, maybe 8 of us that while some of the restaurants were still open, we'd go meet at B-Dubs just to have some socialization.
Yep.
And it was fun. I made some friends that way, which was powerful to building them relationships, even though the meetings were still through Zoom. And then when it all came together and was hybrid, like you had talked about in some of the other podcasts, yeah, you'd wonder, everybody's got their opinions, but certain people just never showed up and so and then they wouldn't be even on the Zoom. And it's
Well,
like,
and half
this
of us,
just doesn't work.
And half of us during Zoom, we're sitting there with our phones and I'm
Right.
playing, or I've got, I'm at my
Right.
desk at home. I wouldn't go into work in the morning until after that meeting, but I have 3 screens up. So I've got the group over on one far screen. I've got the camera right in front of me, so it looks like I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm working on this screen. I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear my name. It's like, how you guys doing?
And
then you
I
look
had
around.
a couple times because I have 2 labs. They're house dogs,
Yeah.
and they're up at the top of the steps with the baby gate crossing, sitting there whining, and
Yep.
I'm like, mute, run upstairs, let the dogs out, and
Right.
get back. And you think you do it in 10 seconds, but you don't.
You don't.
It's 90
Yeah.
seconds or so,
Yep.
and so it's really hard to focus.
You're not invested in it.
Right.
I mean, and I'm guilty. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody else, but same thing. 2 big dogs. All of a sudden, one's popping up in my lap,
Yep.
and he wants some attention, and
Yep.
So,
So-
but I had to take the gate down because mine did the same. They'd whine.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather have them bugging me here.
Right.
So
right.
you kind of choose your poison.
And it was a lot of fun because then people on the other side would see the dog and then
Yeah.
ask about it. So I mean, it worked, but it didn't work well.
Yeah, it wasn't good for business.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Right. So then we had some conversations in parking lot
Yep.
conversations. And like I was mentioning earlier to you, I didn't realize that you put a lot of more thought into it.
Yeah.
I just knew it. Maybe it fizzled away, whatever. And so ultimately, if
I felt defeated. I mean, when I realized truly how much work it was going to be, and our director of that group, when I did this, she said, well, you're going to come crawling back. And I'm sure she's seen a lot of people try this.
Right.
And it's a ridiculous amount of work,
Yep.
and organization and expense.
Right.
So, in her defense, as much as I disagree with her on our venture, I would bet that if she's had to say that to 10 people, she's probably going to be right 9 times.
at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, I believe she, give her a little credit.
Yep.
She's probably right. She's wrong about us.
Yep.
But here's,
Determination.
right, it's determination. And, I'm going to pat myself a little bit on the back, and giving you credit at the same time. It's putting the right team together.
Yeah.
That I think, and I mean, you came in kind of towards the tail end of this.
I think I was number 6. I don't know how many people told you no before you came to me, but
Zero. I will tell you that
glad
now.
to hear that. Glad to hear that because, like I said, we had the little conversations way back then. So
Yep.
when you called me and said, "Hey, if you told me if I ever was going to start something like this, you wanted to be involved," and
Yep.
so I'm thrilled, humbled, thankful.
We've been on the short list the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was everybody that is here, the 6 of us, everybody's got a skill set.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
And, I can honestly say, when you look at all the meetings we've had, all the decisions we've made, I do believe a few of the decisions would be different if you weren't here.
Right.
And that's a compliment.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I understand that.
because I think we're on track. I think
Yeah.
we've made the right decisions so far.
Well, and we've all heard, and I'm sure people listening have heard, partnerships are hard, right?
Really hard.
With one partner, we got 6,
Yeah, there's
5,
6 of us.
5 outside of each ourselves, right?
Right.
But we're building it. It's going well. We have some great debates, I guess you call it, between us to come up with with 6 people. Honestly, I think we're coming up with the best responses, the best way to do things, and right now is the hard time. Right now is building it.
Yeah.
Or not that it's a hard time. It's a lot of work. But I mean,
lot of work,
it's the crunch time of making the right decisions.
Yep.
And so the fact that 6 of us all get along real well,
Yeah.
and we can agree to disagree, but come up with an agreement that works for everything.
We keep talking.
Yes.
Yep. You talk
Yeah.
it through.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's huge.
Yep.
And so I'm really looking forward to the beginning or the future of this, I guess.
Well, and I think it was one of the guys, Craig maybe, and I were chatting the other day, and we talked about exactly that. How it's just, it is difficult to put 6 people together. But like we said, this is growing fast enough that we'll all be busy enough. We won't have time to argue.
Right. That's true. Well, there's a lot of work ahead of us.
There's a lot of work ahead of us.
I mean,
Absolutely.
we're in Rochester right now. We got 3 great groups going.
Yeah.
Just launched this week with the actual meetings.
Yeah.
But
By the way, Tuesday, Wednesday, today is Thursday, July 18th, 2024. So we just had our 3rd of 3 meetings in our initial week, and boy, I couldn't be happier. So much
Right.
great feedback.
Yep. A lot of excitement.
A lot of excitement.
new people that have never been part of a networking group
Right.
are loving what they're seeing.
Yeah.
People that were in other
had no idea what to expect.
Right. And then people that were in other networking groups, some of them with us previously, some other networking groups. I mean, they're excited for us, and I love to see that. I mean, that's
Right.
that again. They're the right people. They're people that really want to see people be successful, and they got their faith and trust in us that we're putting something great together.
Yep. And this right here, this is part of that something great.
Yeah.
Getting to know everybody. We're coming up on the end of this little chat. Anything else you want SBR family to know about you?
Yeah, I don't know. Just really, I'm a guy that, again, I take time to make time. I mean, we raised 5 kids, my wife and I. Really, when it comes down to it, the youngest is 20. I figure out what else is there to do. I'm going to be sitting on a couch if I'm not putting time together. One major thing I guess I'll say, because I'm sure some of my customers, some of my clients in another industry may see this at some point.
Absolutely.
I mean, I grew up with the idea of somebody planted in my head, a family member planted in my head, jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
And so I always, that's in the back of my head.
For so long,
and I mean, I'm trying to run 3 businesses, and it's really, it's 7:30, quarter to 8 at night. We're here working.
Yep.
I was up at 5:30 this morning.
Yeah. To
take
kick off our
time.
Thursday meeting. We were out there at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, yep.
One thing I've noticed is my social media time has dwindled down a lot.
Yep.
People have time to do side hustles. People have time to build things that are great. It's just a matter of maybe doing a little bit less of that unproductive, wasted time. And so I'm super proud of being able to juggle 3 different businesses and watching them all grow.
Yeah, and be successful.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, Jeremiah Prigge, big part of SBR Group, Small Business Referral Group. Check us out online, joinsbrgroup.com, and we'll see you next time. Jeremiah, thanks for having us.
You bet.
Thanks
you.
for being here,
Yeah.
I guess. We're having you.
Yeah.